Hey everyone, welcome back. Icon here. Thanks so much for checking out another episode of Esports Analysis. Today we're hopping on board with SCUMP as he and the Huntsmen go to battle against his old squad, OGLA. And let me tell you, we have got a treat for you today. Now, just to kind of preface this, I have watched so many hours of scrims, right? That's what my entire channel is based around. So I can't even tell you how many different scrims I have watched. SCUMP absolutely fries this one. He ends up dropping 42, and I think his next closest teammate is like 25. Like, he just completely goes off. So far, it hasn't looked like all that great of a performance, but once he gets going, the man just goes on a tear that I haven't really seen yet, honestly. It's probably been, now, of course, he's dropped 30 bombs and 35s and stuff like that, but of course, he's dropped 40 bombs in the past before also, but just this one, he just hits his shots. There's one at the end. But anyways, we'll get into it. Before I talk too much about it, we will get into it. So when we're talking about the analysis here, it is on P1. There's 11 seconds left, and it's about to rotate back to P2. You can see that Chicago got the beneficial spawn to start this one out. So mini-map that's right above my head, right beneath Seth's head in the right-hand side of your screen. It's really weird to, anyways, Chicago got this spawn and OpTic got the spawn on the opposite side. So all Chicago had to do is hold down the spawns for P2. So they're pushing up mid-map, and they're doing whatever they can to hold down these spawns so that as it rotates back to P2, they can capitalize and get the most out of that time, and they were successful at doing that. So you can see that when you start to get kills mid-map, that's when you really start to build a lead when it rotates back to P2. And this is just, again, SCUMP is just going off, and this isn't just what happens in the first couple minutes here. This is how he plays the entire match. So it's really good to see this from him, just because recently in a lot of my comments, I've been getting stuff like, what's wrong with Chicago? Why aren't they playing real well? Well, today it kind of switched around a little bit. But with 8 seconds left, they not only got the majority of the points on P1, but they got all of the points on P2. So as this is about to rotate to P3 on the opposite side of the map, you can see, if you look at the minimap in the top left-hand corner, there was a split second where everybody that was rotating out for Chicago was set up for those spawns, but they did end up dropping eventually. Now, the thing that I'm seeing as I'm watching this is that, yes, they're inside the hill, but the more important thing, that's his second stick of the game. This is just kind of how this game goes for SCUMP. Gets the stick. He's able to peek through that little corner, get a second. But the most important thing here, as we're about to rotate from P3 to P4 and eventually back to P5, is that they want to push through over towards yellow this way, because you want to flip out this spawn so that when it gets back to P5, you can get all of those kills also. And SCUMP is just going mad. Eventually he goes down, but again, there's 13 seconds left on this current Hardpoint, and where has all the points gone? Even though they don't have the beneficial spawns, all of these points have gone the way of Chicago, and it's simply so. Sometimes you can talk about strategy, you can talk about map position, you can talk about where people are set up. With this one, this is solely just one team outslaying the other, right? Every single time that SCUMP goes around a corner and slides cancel, there's just somebody right in front of his barrel, and that's just kind of the way that it's going for him. So as of right now, it's 150 to 22. It's just absolute beatdown so far. SCUMP actually ended up killing his teammate Envoy right there. He's killing everybody so much that he's also killing his teammate. But as we're about to rotate back from P4 to P5, you're going to see that the push is to go ahead and push this out. Also, another thing that you just saw right there, you saw just a quick glimpse from Gunless right there. He's actually using the MP7, and you've been seeing this a little bit more recently, just people trying to test out the MP7, see how it goes. I think a lot of that comes from watching some of those big streamers play Warzone, right? A lot of those keyboard and mouse streamers like Huskers and people like that absolutely fry across the map with the MP7. I don't think you're going to see it in like a major tournament, but people are seeing what's happening in that, and they're just going to try to use it a little bit more just because it barely recoils at all. But that's for a different video. With this one, this is where OpTic's going to get just a little bit of time, right? It's rotating back P4 to P5. Also, SCUMP goes crazy right here. I think he goes on like a 6 or 7 spree. So he gets Slasher. He also gets Dashy. Somebody there, I think there's 2 that run up the stairs right here. He gets both of them. So he gets Kenny, and then he follows it up, gets TJ. People are trying to kill him. They just can't. He kills Kenny again. And it's not over yet. So you might think, all right, man, that was quite the onslaught, but it's not over yet. He gets Dashy again. Man, I'll tell you, it's fun to watch Scump when he's playing like this. And this is what made him so popular, right? Back in the day, he was like one of the only people that were really doing this. Now there's so much skill that, you know, SCUMP and Abizi and Celium and Envoy, and the list goes on and on of players that can do this performance regularly. But I don't know, it's just fun to see him have success like this, just because this is how it used to be in the old days, right? This is why OpTic, part of the reason why the old OpTic gained such a following was stuff like this. But so as I watched through this the first time, I thought it was going to be a 100-point club just because they were up 215 to 30 or whatever it was. But they actually do a nice job. So OpTic does a nice job of getting in and contesting P1. Then they end up holding for P2. So you can see that as everybody for Chicago is pushing up mid-map, what they're really trying to do right now is just hold down P1 so that they can actually win on top of P1. But it does get contested and the game gets extended a little bit. But since this is going to be a little bit longer, let me go ahead. Let me turn up the volume a little bit just so I'm not talking all the time. You guys can hear exactly what they're talking about in terms of strategy and team comms.
Top card's in. I smoke. I'm going to go left.
Trying to work left here.
Yeah, I'm trying to work left with you.
Push
You got me right.
Got him at all.
Up to it, up to the side, up to the side, one stack, one stack.
I got 3.
Good shit,
Nice.
that's nothing.
I smoked right.
Push tires,
Spawn tires, spawn
Tires,
tires. There's two tires.
Upset tires.
One shot, close cop, and then
Wait,
right.
just wait first. Hydra up your top cat.
I spawned green.
Close first, dead.
I got me spawned. Okay, he's pounding on hill.
Yeah, cat got me, cat got me. Kenny.
Yeah, okay. What's done
Another
obviously.
left. Another one left.
Who goes one
CT, that's obviously
He's hitting me cop car, cop car.
First P,
And he hit
first
left.
vegan.
On the
You kill fork or no?
TJ?
Milk dead.
So again, at this point in time, they're just kind of giving up on getting into P2 and capturing that time. They're going to make one more push right here in which Scump is going to end up dying. It's going to go ahead and rotate back to P3. But at this point in time, he's figuring if I can just get these kills and get inside, right? If he could have got one more kill there, he probably could have snuck in and got that extra 3 seconds. But it's not going to hurt him too much, obviously, because as it rotates back to P3 on the opposite side of the map, they're going to be set up, getting these kills mid-map, and they're going to be able to capitalize and get those last few seconds.
Yo, Alec, what'd I tell you, bro?
Bro, that was
The other thing that I want to mention real quick, I do want to see the scoreboard just so that you guys can see the difference in the slaying ability. But as we get into this, the one thing I do want to point out is that this only got through halfway through the second set of rotations, right? Imagine if this would have been like a 250 to 210 game. Imagine if this would have went to the third set of rotations. Scump could have easily put up 50 if the game would have been extended a little bit longer. But right there, you can see it. He ended up with 42 and 18. Gunless actually led their team in score just because he had 2 minutes inside the hill. But a nice 40 bomb. Again, if you look at the scores down below, Kenny was -8, Slasher was -10, JCap -5, Dashy went double negative, which you almost never see. So it was quite the beatdown. Now, a lot of this could have been host, right? Who knows where this host was? If it was more East Coast host, then maybe they had a little bit more of an advantage, but who knows? So with that, if you're new around here and you like this sort of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I put out a new video every single day, so make sure that you hang around to catch out that stuff. Leave a like before you head on your way. If you have any comments whatsoever, put them down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love the interactions, and I love to get back to you. So with that, thank you guys so much for everything, all the support recently, and I will catch you in tomorrow's upload.